at Sharp Cheddar Green Bay.
What?
With football and beer.
The land on the hill.
Cheers, boys.
Fuck the Bears.
Crack your beers.
Oh my God.
So stay sharp.
Go Pack, go.
All right, Cheesehead Nation. We are back after week 10 here. We just got done with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Gotcha.
We are looking forward to another big AFC South showdown. We got everybody here this week. We're not missing anybody.
Yeah, is this the first time in a couple of weeks?
Last time, but
First time caller, long time listener. Yep.
But be sure to check us out on YouTube at Sharp Cheddar Green Bay and on Twitter and Instagram at Sharp Cheddar GB. And before we get started,
we're mostly an IG Instagram kind of crowd though.
Yeah. All right. Let's crack 'em, boys.
All right. There. Woo. I am hitting the bottom of my fridge. I don't know what I'm drinking. It's some kind of IPA. It's not bad though.
That's pretty good.
Got a cute little can.
Classic.
I got a little spotted cow again.
I'm also going
Nice.
with cow.
What? How come I can't get some of this?
Christina won it last week at the bar.
That's right. Yeah. Matt, what about you?
Nice little Guinness right here.
Yeah. You're not gonna pour that into a glass?
Doesn't do anything technically, but I like it in the bottle. I'm fine with it.
Huh.
Yeah, I went to the Irish
well
pub
for
down the
raffle last
street
week,
from my
too.
house last week and got some Guinness out of the tap. It was great.
Nice.
Miss doing that.
I still haven't won at the raffle. I feel like Matt this year. I haven't won once, and we've been.
I've been top for the last 2 years. I'm over that, baby. We're over that. I won last week. I won the halftime shot. We downed that bad boy. I won again, Hank.
I'm not gonna
Nice.
say I'm in a raffle slump yet. I'm gonna wait another game, and then we'll reassess. But looking forward to the second half of the season raffle. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the raffle and the games, let's get right into the first quarter, guys. We had what I would consider to be a really ugly win against the Jaguars this past week. I think we should have had it a little bit better than we did. What are your thoughts, Joe?
Win ugly all the way to first place, baby. I don't give a fuck. I mean, yeah, it obviously wasn't ideal. The weather is going to make it a closer game. I mean, the Jags have lost 8 in a row now. Like, they're going to show up. I don't know. The thing that makes it even is when your two best players turn the ball over, which I'm not concerned about, but that is why it was close. They score. And then they had the special teams touchdown. Just kind of an anomaly of a game. I'm not worried about Tay or Rodgers turning the ball over in the future. So just kind of a bummer there, but pull out the win. That's all that matters.
All of that is, it's just I was more concerned with like our energy level and just like we were smiling during the game. That got me pissed off and went on a nice little rant at the bar about that. I don't understand how you're smiling when you're fucking tied to the Jaguars. Like if you have Super Bowl aspirations, that team literally played to try to get Trevor Lawrence. We're playing for a Super Bowl and we're fucking smiling as we're tied. That to me is crazy. Outside of all of the ins and outs, which I agree with your analysis, Joe, but that's crazy.
I think, Matt, when you did that at the bar, I was like right behind you and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that just shows that we were still confident. We still got the job done. Like we still enjoyed playing the game. And yeah, I was pissed that we were tied to the Jaguars too.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Joe, you kind of hit it on the head when you said, obviously the weather is going to make it much closer. And then you have the special teams touchdown, which is probably, to me, the most concerning part of the game. The offense had the 2 turnovers, but it's Devontae and Aaron. I don't foresee that being a trend or anything. The defense, I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised with. Obviously, the weather is going to help them a little bit, but only giving up 260 yards. They only gave up 1 TD. So and they came up big at the end of the game. So,
Fuck it. Omar, your turn.
Yeah, I agree with Hank. Even though it is the Jaguars, you know, they did only the defense did only give up that 260 yards in the entire Aaron Rodgers era. the defense has only been as good as they were on Sunday 29 times. And they've only been that good 3 times in the Matt LaFleur era. Against Chicago week 1 last year, Minnesota 16, and last week.
What was the name of their quarterback, Omar, who played for the Jaguars last week? We still don't know his name.
Lutton or something.
That's exactly my point.
Luton.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Luton.
The fucker
Luton.
isn't going to throw for 400 yards, dude. But they still ran all over our defense.
I completely understand that they were playing a highly inferior team. But we already talked about the 2 turnovers by Rodgers and Devontae. Those happened essentially like at midfield or closer to our goal line. So we're giving them a short field to begin with. We essentially spotted them 21 points, as far as I'm concerned, if you include the touchdown or the punt return for the touchdown.
Yeah, their offense didn't do shit otherwise. I just wanted to say the fucking punt return. J.K. Scott, like, what is he doing running towards the guy and then, like, backing away? Like, bro, just dive for his shoelaces like every punter does and, like, hope for the best. Like, throw up a fucking arm and, like, see what happens. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, our special teams are fucking awful. And it's not going to get any better if Swerve Nervin isn't able to come back.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't think the defense played all that well. I mean, they had some pressure on them from the turnovers that we forced them into. Obviously, they got the job done on the last drive, but, like, why all of a sudden is Preston Smith getting sacks and pressure only on the last drive when it really matters? Where is that all game long? Like,
I don't think Preston Smith's going to be that much longer on the team, personally. He is not living up to his contract.
Well, let's get into that. So let's jump into the second quarter, because that's the second quarter where we stand kind of in these 9 weeks, and I think Preston Smith's kind of a big topic of conversation with that. Yeah. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't play Rashawn Gary over him at this point.
Okay, so you're gonna criticize another one of our players. You guys are ready to criticize.
Gary. Gary has exceeded him.
You 3 have to be the most negative Packers fans.
Don't put me into this. No,
I just said Gary has exceeded him. That's it.
No one likes criticizing Packers as much as Packers fans. It's ridiculous. I mean, I think that you guys are lower on our team than Vikings fans. Just today, you guys were just talking shit about Equinemius. You're talking shit about Dexter.
Yes,
last night,
we were.
Name a positive thing about him. Name one positive.
Yeah. I got the receipts last night. Omar texted "bear down" to the group. Omar said Dude is the worst GM in the NFL. Matt said Lowry and linebacker jokes.
Wow, Hank came prepared.
Joe said AJ Dillon is our worst draft pick ever. Omar and Matt were saying that we just have a bad culture and we're suffering the consequences. My God, you guys!
I stand by all that. I stand by it.
It is insane. We are 7-2, sitting at the number 1 seed in the NFC right now with a 3-game lead in the North. We are looking beautiful, and you guys can't do anything but talk shit. Come on.
That was part of what we were talking about is, I mean, we have to – I think – would we all agree we have to get a number 1 seed? I think if we don't get that bye and we don't have Lambeau, it's going to be tough. I think if it comes through Lambeau, I'm very optimistic about it. I think all the players that you just named are bottom roster players. I think it's right for any fan group to complain about their bottom roster groups that are starting. But, you know, on the opposite end, I fucking love Devontae. Devontae and Aaron have been the fucking killers to these 9 weeks.
Yeah, but, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of balls to say that you support 2 of the greatest players in the league / all time. Come on.
Come on, Hank. Can you honestly tell me that you are not disappointed in the way our defense is playing? With Kevin King and Jair Alexander out, we can't come up with any other players to play in the secondary.
Of course, there are things that I would like to see us improve upon, but I think harping on only those things and not enjoying the fact that we're 7-2. And you, like, our defense, you're treating them as if they're the Seahawks defense, number 32 in the league. Our defense is 9th in yards per game and 15th in points per game.
Ooh,
Is it great? No.
It'd be nice to be top 10 or top 5 in both categories, Hank. Yeah.
You're right. It would be great, and we should keep improving. I'm not saying that our team is perfect, but to focus and treat the team like they're dog shit, to pretend that we're the Detroit Lions is a joke.
I refuse to be classified with Omar and Matt because I have always been on the more conservative.
No, I don't know. I think honestly,
and with you as an optimist. Okay.
When I was looking at the text, Joe, you are actually more negative than Matt. I was kind of surprised.
This is fake
Omar
news.
is by far the biggest pessimist.
Yeah, I'm third.
You actually edged out Matt.
I got on a tear like a couple weeks ago about Equinemius because he fucked me earlier on this season. I said he was going to be one of those players that made a leap. He has failed miserably. Along with Dexter Williams, your Notre Dame guy, Hank, your Notre Dame guy. No, but all I wanted to say to end that conversation was we're just finding our voice as a podcast. You know, we're trying to navigate. We're trying to make a splash. Sometimes you got to say some bold things. So we're just going to find that more positive voice, guys, as a podcast.
Joe, you could be clickbait. I think it's for me. I see the potential of this team, and I guess I'm disappointed by the parts that I'm seeing can be our detriment moving forward. I think that's – and it comes off, I agree, it's definitely the negative aspects of it. Like our third wide receiver, whoever that is going to be, like I just – these parts I feel are going to be our detriment, and we're going to wonder in 8 weeks what happened. Well, I think it kind of goes back to you're starting a guy named Larry in Lancaster. Your third wide receiver is, I don't know, Joe Gergen. Like, I don't fucking know who's like going to start. Aquarius gets 50% snap count last week and can't get one ball. Like, I don't know. But MVS, like, that was a big game for him, and I hope that needs to be what we get. If we can get that plus Laser D coming back, like, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, Laser D coming back, I think, is going to be huge for us. I love Laser D. There you go, Hank. Optimism. I love everything about the dude. Him coming back is going to be awesome. I am a little, and by a little, I mean very concerned about the fact that Devontae had to take a few snaps off last week because of
is he? What's his status? We got.
I have not read anything about it. I haven't heard anything about it.
Well, he came back after, so he's playing. Like, he came back after.
Yeah, but that's because we needed him to, Matt, because we were losing to the fucking
Jaguars. Yeah, so he'll have to play every game for the rest of his eternal life.
I mean, but Matt, you mentioned MVS, and we've gone on a couple of rants about him before, and he has been part of our potential negativity and the attitude there for a while. For a good reason, he's dropped a couple third downs, and he's dropped a couple easy 10-yard passes. And again,
in the hands.
He had a career game. What was like 150-plus yards or something, and the huge 78-yard bomb. Only 4 catches. And, yeah, good for him. He still seems to only want to catch the ball when it's like a super long touchdown.
Yeah.
Like,
which is fine. If that's the player that he's going to be, like, let's use him in that way. I know some of that could be the way that we're using these players. But, I mean, outside of MVS, Lazard, and Devontae, like, we really don't have anybody that can catch the ball.
He is, but MVS is getting better.
One thing that I found really interesting in the 6 quarters where we had Aaron Rodgers, Devontae, Aaron Jones, and Jamal all healthy, and Lazard. We've only had those 5 all healthy at the same time for 6 quarters. We got 60 points in those 6 quarters.
Damn.
If we can stay healthy, we have a historic offense in the making.
Yeah.
Wow.
We cannot get out of this. We cannot get out of this.
In addition, before we move on to halftime, I feel like we have to touch base on one of the staples of that offense, David Bakhtiari, sticking around for a few more. Yeah, sticking around for a few more years, getting that massive contract that he deserves because he is the best left tackle in the game. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say we cannot leave this quarter without bringing him up. I think that alleviates a lot of that negativity that I was saying before when I was saying,
do stuff.
Gutekunst is a dumbass and never does anything. He finally did something, so that's a thing.
Is it like 4 years or something? Like, what do we?
It's like 4 years, 105 million or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Do we think that means we're not bringing back Aaron Jones?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it guarantees it.
Yeah.
I hope
Alright.
not.
I think there's a chance we bring back Jamal.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I think that's what that deal did. Unless Aaron Jones is willing to give us a huge hometown discount kind of thing, I unfortunately think he's on his way out.
So we gotta make the rest of this year count.
Absolutely.
Congrats to David. Maybe I'll leave it with what a great draft pick by Ted Thompson in the 4th round. Future Hall of Famer, Packer Hall of Famer for sure.
Who? Aaron Jones or Ted Thompson?
No, David Bakhtiari.
Bakhtiari.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? All right.
All right, guys, let's get into halftime here. As always, let's start out with our shout outs. But so I don't buckle this time, we're gonna start with Hamilton's, who has been putting up with us all year, even though they're very light on attendance, even though we've been funding everything they do. But yeah, thank you, Hammies, for all of our listeners who have not been there. Hamilton's Bar and Grill on Capitol Hill, Lambeau on the Hill. Best Packer bar in DC, best Packer bar in the world, in my opinion. Yeah, great game days. If you haven't been there or you have not been going there because, of COVID, they've actually been doing a lot to make sure that everybody's safe and everything. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I got to say before I do my shout outs, I missed the last episode. Did not appreciate all the non-Packers talk that you fuckers did. No one listens to that shit. And yeah, Omar, you did buckle. You buckled on the outro. I want to call you out on that. It was embarrassing. And defend myself.
Hey, I saved it though.
Good. I'm glad. But I need to mention this publicly that I did do the chant at the Niners game last Thursday. You got Omar. Omar is the only witness here. Fuck. Omar, you need to attest that I did the chant.
No, I was there.
Hank was there. Okay. Dude, you haven't showed up to the bar. We don't know this, Hank. You need to mark this down. Anyways.
What are you saying, Joe? Let's get to some shout-outs. Come on, man. What are you saying?
Well, of course, Jayville. The Jayville has been. I've been missing the taste of their juicy tubed meats. We need to tailgate again here soon. We need to get an afternoon game, and I think it's going to be the Eagles, though. We're talking about, unfortunately, but Johnsonville Brats, the best, the only brat in the game, the official, unofficial sponsor, and bratwurst of the Sharp Cheddar Green Bay podcast. My second shout out, guys, goes to Lambeau West, the Buffalo Chip. I've given them a shout out before. Little bar out in Cave Creek, Arizona. Did a little Instagramming with them the other day. They posted the picture I posted from them early on from when we started this thing up, and I'm actually going out there next week. Not sure I'm going to make it to the bar for the Colts game because of COVID, but good to see we got some love, out west.
Hopefully you're able to watch it then.
Yeah, Sharp Cheddar's nationwide. So.
Yeah, Miller and New Glarus, like I said last time, it's a race to see which one of you can ship me free beer first, and then I will make that the exclusive beer of this podcast. So let me know if you want to win that title.
Cool. I got nothing. Let's jump into our lightning round then.
Well,
Yeah,
wait,
so
no. What the fuck are you guys doing? We have to take a shot.
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry, you're right.
And I have some words to say for the shot. Damn it.
Oh wow.
All right. What's everybody doing for their shot? I am once again Grand Marnier.
When are you gonna be done with that bottle, dude?
Dude, do you see how big the bottle is?
It's only for margaritas. Matt, I'm still working on your Barton's peach schnapps.
Looks good.
Keeping it tropical.
Got some home infused bourbon.
Cool. I just wanted to say RIP to a couple Packer Hall of Famers, Herb Baddeley and Paul Horning, the Golden Boy.
RIP.
Cheers.
Hank's
Golden
worth number
Boy.
5. Cheers to that.
Yeah,
Go
do you
Pack
guys
Go.
have a problem with that Notre Dame grad?
No, he's
Cheers.
good with us.
Go Pack Go.
No, players that produce are fine and catch the ball and run more than 3
Hey.
plays before tearing an ACL.
I really wanted us to sign another Notre Dame grad, but Goody didn't do it.
If you read like when Pride Still Mattered and stuff like that, some of the stories you hear from the Golden Boy in those days, him like sneaking out with Max McGee to go like fucking get wasted and find chicks and then go win like a championship afterwards. It's awesome.
All right,
Golden
so
boy.
let's get into
It was
this
rumored that
lightning
he did not. He went home with a different lady every night. That is a rumor.
round. That is a rumor. All right.
Or like when Lombardi calls like President Kennedy to like get him back from the army base in time to play a game. That's pretty epic.
All right, lightning round. Let's go into the game picks from last week. We started doing this when Joe was gone, and we're gonna continue doing it because I thought it was pretty fun.
Wait, I haven't been gone. What are you talking about?
For those of you who are not aware or who didn't listen in last week, DraftKings has this feature where you can it's a free pool and you can pick each and every game on the Sunday slate, picking, trying to guess who's going to win and who's going to cover the spread. So last week, Matt and I went on IG Live from the bar and made our picks.
Hey, I was there too, you fucker. I made my picks.
You had no idea what was going on, Joe. You
I
were
still made my picks. I bet my picks are better than your Omar stat picks.
My biggest surprise of the week, I think, had to have been the Patriots game.
Yep.
Hank, did you make your picks last week?
I did, but I can't pull up the app on my phone because I'm using my phone to record right now.
Okay.
Matt or Omar, I'm gonna look at my picks. I'm gonna go back to the IG Live we posted, mark my picks, and then go back and see how I performed against you. How many did you get? How many did you get right?
Both got
I
7.
got 7 right.
All right, I probably got 8. I'll get this.
Yeah,
I'll-
probably.
I probably got 12.
For our listeners out there that are little G fans, I will have the information for you next week.
Yeah. So the Patriots game, I thought that for sure the Ravens were going to cover. I don't remember what the 6.5 point spread, I believe it was. I was very shocked that the Patriots pulled that one out. I was also really surprised by the Arizona Cardinals game. I would have won that one had that Hail Mary happened, but
I don't want to play the fucking Cardinals, dude. I would much rather play the Seahawks in the playoffs, big time.
yeah. Matt, were there any more that surprised you from the spreads?
Yeah, definitely the Ravens. Like the Ravens, I think, are becoming this team that on national TV they just buckle. I don't know what it is. This isn't their first time that this has happened. They've been a large spread in a playoff game or a big night on national TV. The Titans game comes to memory. They haven't really beaten the Chiefs yet. Yeah, I'm really pissed about that game because I put good money on that. So yeah, I'm pissed. Fuck the Ravens. That'll never happen again. Fuck the Ravens. So.
We weren't picking this because it was this Thursday night game, but we're also going to talk about a thing that's related to the fucking Packers that we're all here for in the first reason is the Colts' big win over the Titans. We're just going to avoid that one.
So let's jump into that third quarter then. I'm cool with
All
that.
right, third quarter.
Crack your beers.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Cheers.
I had to switch to Natty Bo. I didn't bring it up enough the cows. Anyway, Indianapolis. Joe, kick us off here.
I have not done as is tradition. I have not done my research on the Colts, but they've got a guy named Phillip Rivers who's as consistent as he can get, just a grinder, kind of a Brett Favre like quarterback. It's hard to not like the guy.
Do not compare him to Brett Favre. That is beyond ridiculous.
What do you mean? He has the second most consecutive starts behind him. He still needs like 80 starts, but anywho's, I'm not comparing his quality. I'm just his grinder mentality. I don't know. I mean, they got a good defense. Jonathan Taylor from the Badgers. But other than that, I don't know. They're clearly playing well though. It's gonna be a good test.
I mean, it's going to be our I think our best test against a top-tier defense. Their defense looks really good this year. I still think, especially getting back Lazard, having Devontae, Aaron Jones, I like our offense's chances.
We don't know if Lazard's going to play yet. But.
Yeah, I think if they activated him, he'll play. You're right, but I think so. And then as far as their offense goes, their offense is kind of mediocre. I mean, Rivers has 11 touchdowns and 7 picks. It's not great. I see a nice interception or 2 coming this game. And then Jonathan Taylor only has 4 rush touchdowns this year. Like their offense is very mediocre. Their defense is great. I think it'll be a good test for our offense, but I think we'll be able to win that.
I think, frankly, the Jaguars' offensive line, which the only player who I think would start on another NFL team was Cam Robinson, left tackle for the Jags, and he was actually hurt for some of that game. The Colts have one of the best offensive lines in football. So, like, if we got beat up, I think they just beat us in the trenches last week from an offensive line perspective. It wouldn't matter who's behind them at running back. Like, I think this is going to be a good test for our defensive line and our offensive line on both fronts because their defense, their front 7 is one of the best in the NFL as well. So it's like our 2 biggest weaknesses are the rush D. I think rush D. I'll even just go with rush D right now. I think that's one of our biggest weaknesses, and just playing a good defense. We have this and then the 2 Bears games. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm pretty nervous about this one, to be honest. So, like, the defense has been playing lights out. The first, 5-6 weeks of the season, they were playing a little bit better than they're playing now, but they're still playing very well. I mean, even
gamers though, I don't know any of their names.
Because you don't know any team or player outside of the Packers. Like, they're big.
I'm wondering who are their game players.
Forrest Buckner, Darius Leonard.
Okay.
Yeah. So even since just week 6, like, they've been allowing 223 yards passing a game, 99 yards rushing. They've only been allowing 22 points a game. I mean, they haven't been
check that, please.
They haven't been playing top-notch competition here. But let me put into perspective here. So if they hold us to their season averages of 199 pass yards and 92 rush yards, in Rodgers' career, he averages 12 points a game, going all the way back to 2008.
I mean, I think just pulling those stats, I think agreed. If they hold us that, they win that football game.
Way too many numbers.
I don't think it's realistic. I think our offense is better than the teams they have played. I have more faith in our offense.
I agree, but let's just look back to that Bucs game that happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That team did hold us to their averages, and we scored 10 points.
Yeah, we also had a shit game in terms of turnovers.
If our offense plays like shit, we lose. That's good analysis. What do you think, Hank?
Yeah, I don't foresee Aaron throwing 2 picks, 1 pick, 3 picks. I don't care how many. He's not throwing any picks in a dome. He's going to tear them up. I don't know if I see a huge rushing game for us, but I could see quite a few receiving yards for Aaron Jones. I think a lot of good screen action coming this week. And having, I mean, if MVS is coming off a couple big weeks, if Lazard's back and fully healthy and Devontae's healthy, I don't think it matters if they have a good front 7, because I don't think we'll let their front 7 touch one of our ball carriers.
So let me throw another one at you here. If they just hold down the rushing game, and we just can't run on them, they just hold us under their averages for rushing yards, and we're still able to pass. In the LaFleur era, we averaged 23 points, and we have a 4-7 record. We have losses to the Chargers, Niners, and the Bucs in the regular season. Those are all bad losses. So I'm really hoping that you guys are right, and I'm just being a pessimist again. But
this is the healthiest our team has been, too. So if we can't do it with how healthy our team is, I don't know what will a time be that we will.
Yeah.
Like, this is the healthiest our team's probably going to be for the rest of the year. Like I don't know what name a player who's probably not going to play outside of maybe Irvin. Like I think everyone else is really supposed
Kevin
to play.
King going to be back?
Let's assume Jair and Kevin King are back, which I think they're supposed to. If they're back, like I think there's no excuses. This is our team. Yeah, I have faith in our team to figure this out against Phillip Rivers. If they have another quarterback, I'd be more concerned.
Yeah.
Given their defense, all eyes are going to be on if Devontae is 100%. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm still worried about our rush D, like Matt said earlier on.
Every week, I don't know.
Yep.
Which episode every week?
Yeah, but to me, their offense has been so lackluster that even if they do have a great O-line and hand the ball off 100 times, like if it were that easy, they would have done that to everyone else.
That's true. Their offense is not very good. Their offense is averaging 21 points a game when playing a defense similar to ours. So
No. We're going to go through this episode postscript and fact check for our listeners everything that Omar has said, just for clarity.
Yeah, so if we're able to put up over 21 points, I think we win the game.
Okay, so how much do you think we score then, Omar?
Let's get into predictions.
Let's get into predictions. Omar, kick it off.
You guys are not going to be happy with this, but I think this is going to be our third L. I think it's going to be 14-21.
Damn. Wow, Omar, you are really bringing the negativity.
I don't think there's any way our offense can't put up 28. So I'll go 28-24, us.
Yeah, with a healthy offense, with all our weapons, with Jones, Lazard, Laser D, Devontae, and now that MVS seems to have found his groove, I'm looking at 34-20.
Yeah. I'll just stick with my usual 99-0, but I agree with Hank.
I really hope you guys are right. I really hope I'm wrong, but
that's what the stats say.
Our
offense is going to get back to is that your heart?
35 plus points.
I mean, even without the stats, I'm really nervous about our offense, the way that it plays against defenses like that. We have
good defenses, yeah,
but we did it one time and we were missing a lot of pieces in that game.
What about the Chargers last year?
I mean, that
was last year.
I don't think they're a good defense either.
Before we kick it around to other shit going on in the league, like this is one of our bigger games. Obviously, the two Bears games are always going to be bigger than any other games. We still got to play the Lions, and we still got to play the Titans. Like the Colts just handed it to the Titans. This is the biggest game now that we got left on the schedule. Fuck the Eagles. Fuck the Panthers. Those teams are
Bears. Fuck the Bears too. Yeah, I agree. It's a big game.
It just became a really big game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't look at this game at the beginning of the season and say, "Oh, Colts, circle that one," but certainly is now.
And I think that if we can win this, I mean, we obviously started off so hot, and then we've kind of gotten comfortable playing some mediocre football the last few weeks, like win here, loss here, win here, loss here. And right now we're at 2. If we can start to turn this into a win streak, then that's a huge difference maker.
I just don't want to
do it. Yeah.
I don't want to go into the Bears game being like, what? And then we play the Eagles. I mean, like this, like we have extremely winnable games after this. So I want the team to show up, obviously, in full force this week because the Bears are fucking terrible. God damn it.
All right, so speaking of the Bears, should we get into the fourth quarter with around the league?
We absolutely should. Yeah, let's talk about that shit show of a game last night.
No, let's talk about how you guys are rooting for the Bears. What the fuck?
Yeah, because they're not going to win any more games. Like I think the Vikings actually pose a threat, and thankfully they traded that Jaguars defensive end, or they'd actually be a threat to us. But
I agree.
I don't think the Bears are any threat. I don't think they're any threat whatsoever. So that's why I would rather have them win.
Is hurt. Like
Yeah, but we still like Vikings still have to win a whole nother game.
Their schedule's easier too, the Vikings.
Yeah, but I honestly I don't see too much of a threat from within the North, even making the playoffs. I mean, you look at we got 3 games up on our closest rivals, and I don't see us just like losing out and letting them close that gap. And then you look around the league at the West and down south with Tampa and New Orleans. I just don't see. I think that Minnesota may have figured it out, but I think they figured it out a little too late.
I agree.
Maybe, but for Matt Nagy to have a job, I think is crazy. Him and Ryan Pace, I think to have jobs is feel bad. I hate the Bears more than anything else. I feel bad for those fans that are like they missed out on Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Can you imagine them with Pat Mahomes right now? Like that'd be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be wild.
If they just had a competent person behind center.
I mean, I'm still not worried about the Vikings too, because like let's remember they were 1-5. So I mean, and they still have to play the Saints. I mean, we still have to play the Bears twice. That's why it's more important, like, to get them down. We still have to play our arch rival twice in the season. Let's not forget about that. And fuck the Bears more than anyone else in the world. So I'm happy with it.
I actually hate the Vikings more than I hate the Bears, but I think as long as teams realize that the way to slow down the Vikings offense is literally to just take Dalvin Cook out of the equation, that's fine. Our defense could not do that. Mike Pettin knew what was going on, and he still couldn't. Hopefully the Saints and some of these other teams can.
Our personnel is nowhere near the Bears' personnel, frankly, on the defensive side of the ball.
No,
like maybe 2010 our defense was that's fine. Our offense is nowhere near the personnel of the Bears. Like it's way better. Like it's not. I don't think it's even close on either side of the football to say that. No one stopped Alvin.
Complete polar opposites on either side of the ball. But yeah, I think the Bears and the Vikings. I agree with Matt. I think that the Vikings have a better shot of actually making a run down the stretch than the Bears do. The Bears are essentially dead in the water at this point.
I think so too.
Lost last night, they would have been dead in the water, and the Bears still would have lost a bunch of games down the stretch. So, yeah, I don't see how.
But the Vikings are still a game back and have to play the Saints. Like, I just disagree.
Yeah,
I share your concern, but
I just don't see anyone within the division posing that big of a threat to us. I'm obviously looking around the NFC with some of those other teams being the threats. I'm hoping that they just beat up on each other enough that they kind of remove themselves from contention. And I think that's going to happen out west. But down south, now that the Saints and Bucks have already finished playing each other, I think that they both play the Chiefs, which is going to be huge. But aside from that, I don't see too much of a challenge for the Saints unless they get tripped up by Matt Ryan.
They just lost Drew Brees. Yeah, I don't know how much I trust Jameis Winston playing your division rival twice in 3 weeks. That's what's going to happen. So
I think the Saints are going to have a big game this week. Like Jameis Winston does have a big arm. He's like your boy Brett Favre. He's coming out of nowhere.
Okay.
So much Packers hate.
I can't wait to be clear. When you don't win 1 week in DraftKings, you're going to get on this airway and tell the truth that Brett Favre's way fucking better than Jameis Winston. That's embarrassing. I hope your kids inevitably listen to this and go, "What was Daddy saying during this?" Because this is horseshit.
I mean, yeah, big loss in Drew Brees having the punctured lung and fractured ribs. We'll see if it can bounce back. I'm just like looking at the standings, like the Vikings aren't even 500, and like they've won 3 in a row. They're not even 500. Like get to 500, and then I could be concerned about
3 easy wins still baked in, so that puts them at 7. And then they keep playing the way they are. They could put them in 10-5 and make the playoffs. Yeah, I don't think they pose a threat to us winning the division. To be clear, I don't think that's a case. But I don't want to play them.
See, I don't think that 10-6 makes the playoff in the NFC this year. I think with Seattle, the Rams, and Arizona all sitting at 6-3, 7-2 right now, or are they all 6-3?
They're all 6-3.
They're all 6-3.
Yeah, I see all of them finishing 11-5 or better. So unless Minnesota wins out, which is possible, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
It's not possible.
I don't see them sneaking in. I don't see the Bears sneaking in.
Dude,
I just don't
Bears
see that
are
happening.
5-5.
So my biggest concern is the West and the South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
The West in particular. I would not want to play the Cardinals right now. I wouldn't want to play the Rams. The Rams defense is legit.
I mean, I would rather play the Rams than the Buccaneers again, even though I think Tom is overrated and old and geriatric. Their defense is doing better than the Rams right now. I mean, if you look at yards,
I don't like the West right now. That's for sure.
I agree that the conference as a whole is better, but I think that one-on-one we match up way better against those teams than we do against Tampa or a healthy New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, healthy New Orleans would also be a problem. Yeah.
Let's see how it shakes up because I think the West still needs to play each other a lot. We obviously still need to play the Bears. I was claiming the Bears were going to be 8-8 when they were 5-1, and now I don't even think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to even make 8-8. But that was my prediction.
Yeah.
Good analysis, John.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Rams defense, because I've heard a lot of people saying that, their defense looks amazing right now, but they're 19th in points per game allowed and 7th in yards. So, like, obviously the yards is good. They're top 10, but points per game at 19, that's nothing crazy. They give up 28 to Miami, 24 to San Francisco, and 35 to Buffalo. Like, they're not like they're good, but they're nothing that scares me.
The Rams.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up here. I like that.
A lot of football still to play, boys.
All right, Joe, take us home.
Sounds good. Finish your beers, boys. Cheers.
Don't buckle like Omar, Joe. No pressure.
I'm unfortunately missing the Colts game at Hammy's, doing Thanksgiving with the fam out in Arizona, all COVID sensitive. But I will be back for a big Bears week. It's weird not playing the Bears until this late, but I am pumped for that game too. We have a big fucking game against the Colts in Indy. But yeah, before we wrap up here, follow us where on IG at Sharp Cheddar GB, Twitter at Sharp Cheddar GB. If you're one of the YouTubers, you can do that too. Though it's an incomplete list of episodes. And yeah, go Pack, go. Anything else, boys, for the crowd?
Go Pack, go. Dan, take us home, Joe.
Right on.
You buckle there. What happened?
Yeah. What is this?
Until next time, everyone knows the strength of the team is related to the cheddar. So stay sharp and go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.
Go.